Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 5th Annual Greater Good Challenge Final Live Competition. I'm Kelly An, Associate Dean of the Career Design Lab at Columbia University School of Professional Studies. So it began in 2020 during a time of great uncertainty, as you all remember, with the goal of giving entrepreneurs a platform to share innovative, sustainable, and impactful solutions to today's pressing societal challenges. Over the years, we've seen remarkable ideas emerging from this competition. Past winners like Microterra, our first champion in 2020, and Logista in 2021, they have all gone to winning other competitions and also scaling up their startups, which was just incredibly rewarding to watch. Later today, you'll hear from Care Home. They were the third place team from last year, and they will share their incredible journey and how their project has been since the competition. So today is all about the final teams. The top 10 teams will be presenting their ideas, competing for up to $20,000 in prize money. This is not a small sum, and this competition has always been about collaborative efforts. It's really about coming together and working together to create something that is mind-blowing and something that give us inspiration and hope. So with that, I am so grateful for the organizations that support this competition. To start off, my heartfelt thanks to the Beba Foundation. This marks their 5th year supporting the Greater Good Challenge. And without them, this event would not be possible. They are committed to fostering innovation and also empowering young, especially female entrepreneurs. And this whole idea and their mission really resonates very strongly with the values and mission of Columbia University School of Professional Studies. We also want to extend our warm welcome to the Greenworks Tools. This is their 2nd year supporting this challenge. Greenworks Tool is a leading global manufacturer of a battery-powered outdoor power equipment, offering a wide range of eco-friendly tools designed for both residential and commercial use. Again, we are so happy to have their support this year, and their support has been so meaningful. All right, so I'm moving on to a couple of things that I would like to express. This whole event could not have been possible without the collective efforts from so many individuals. A special thanks goes out to the SPS events team, that's Shona Croning and Denise Abad, as well as alumni relations colleagues, Sonal Pandey, Reshma Persad, and Patty Sai. I also want to thank the student affairs team and especially the Career Design Lab team. Thank you so much to Paul Maniaci, who led this effort with dedication throughout the entire year, and also other CDL members, Kat Castro, Karen Acampado, Gonzalo Miranda, and David Slani for their incredible work to make this event all possible. And last but not least, our intern, Tanvi. We deeply appreciate your creativity contribution, and I know you're going to be working very hard behind the scenes today. So thank you so much for contributing your work to this challenge. We are also grateful to the judges, coaches, and mentors who have guided our final teams to this point. Your time and expertise are so critical, and year in year, we hear from the participants that getting the coaching and mentorship from subject matter experts and inspiring entrepreneurs, that has been the most important part of this experience. So thank you so much. To everyone who's joining today, we love to hear where you're joining from. Feel free to share your city, your country in the chat, and I'm sure you have a team or two that you are rooting for. So please let us know which team that you would like to support. Give a shout out to those teams and give your good vibe and energy to your teams. Feel free to do that now. Yonkers, Queens, all New Yorkers so far. Joining from Toronto. I hear a lot of shout outs for golden support. Connecticut, Adrian team. Manhattan, New York. Brazil, Rafael Gomes, welcome. New Canaan, Connecticut. I used to live in New Canaan for a long time. Brooklyn, Jersey, Bahamas. Wow, that's amazing. Sicily, Italy. Giuseppe, welcome. Another Connecticut. South Carolina, another Brazil member here. Portugal, Bronx. Austin, Texas, another Bronx. Great. Oh, we have a shout out for Echo House and Blue Harmony. Pennsylvania. Oh, this is wonderful. It's a worldwide. Indonesia. Jakarta, that's wonderful. All right. Chile. Great. Beijing. All right. South Africa. Lucy, welcome. This is really great to see. Great Oak Challenge always has been a global affair. And every time I look at the chat, I'm so amazed the far reach that we have in such a big community. So thank you so much. All right, that was a lot of fun. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our MC, Dr. Steve Safier. Dr. Safier is a full-time faculty member and the program director for Master of Science program in Human Capital Management at Columbia University School of Professional Studies. He is also the recipient of the 2022 Dean's Excellence Award for Faculty. With extensive experience as a senior human resources leader and consultant, Steve has worked across industries including healthcare, technology, and financial services. Steve, thank you so much for joining us for the third year in a row. And we cannot wait to see your masterful ceremony expertise for today's event. So I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thank you. You counseled, and I thought very well, the participants to not to feel the pressure, but now I'm feeling it. It's great to be here. It's great to be back. I want to send a special shout out to my colleagues, my friends from our Career Design Lab, and welcome everyone for joining. Let's tell you a little bit about what's going on today. We'll introduce people, we'll go through the process, and please pay particular attention to the rules when we get there. So let's start with our judges. Our panel of judges is made up of experts in various fields from media, healthcare, consumer products, sports, strategy consulting, sustainability consulting, and more. Not only that, but they're also leaders, influencers, teachers, and mentors, having given countless hours and other resources to startups and entrepreneurs. I'm happy to invite each of our judges to introduce themselves, starting with Korhan Beba, Executive Director of the Beba Innovation and Entrepreneurship Foundation. Korhan, good morning.
Good morning, Steve. Great to be here. I can't believe it's year 5. You know, we've been doing this since the beginning, obviously, as Kellyanne also mentioned. And we feel very honored and privileged to be a part of this really, really great event. It's actually one of our, biggest flagship events, actually. And working with Columbia School of Professional Studies and Career Design Lab has nothing but been fantastic. Thank you, everyone on the teams. Every year is another great event, but this year I think is even more special, being the 5th year, and the quality of the submissions have been, going up over the years. So I can't wait to see the pitches and maybe ask some questions and, take this forward, hopefully for another 5 years. We're a family foundation that was founded in 2017, as I said, and this is our biggest initiative. So I'm really looking forward to this event, and thanks again. Good luck, teams.
Well, it's great to see you. And of course, we appreciate your sponsorship of the foundation. And look, again, as you, I am looking forward to today. Trisha Bauman, Q, Principal and Founder of TJ Bauman LLC. To introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Steve. So I serve as principal and founder of the the firm that Steve mentioned, TJ Bauman, sustainability strategy and communications firm in New York. I'm a lecturer at SPS, the Master of Science in Strategic Communication, and I serve as adjunct faculty at Minneapolis College of Art and Design's Sustainable Design Masters. I also serve on the governing board of the International Society of Sustainability Professionals and on the board at the United Nations Association of New York City. This is my 5th year involved in the Greater Good Challenge. It's been an incredible delight and inspiration to be involved and to see the really impressive initiatives from the various teams. And as Korhan just mentioned, the quality just keeps improving, which is incredibly inspiring and wonderful to see. So thank you so much. Thanks, Steve.
Great. Thank you, Tricia. And our next judge, please, Zanti Ho.
Thanks, Steve. I'm the principal and chief strategist of Media Valerie, where we advise several startups in the travel and hospitality space, as well as the technology space. I'm also the managing director of Convince and Convert, a consultancy that has worked with organizations ranging from the UN Food and Agriculture Organization to companies like Cisco and Oracle. And, I've also been a faculty lecturer at SPS. I'm really excited for today's competition, having been a judge since the beginning, because we always see great quality submissions. But I hope that our teams really take this as an opportunity to practice their pitches and hone their ideas, because this is a wonderful opportunity to build those skills. You'll need them throughout your careers as startup members.
Great advice. Thank you, Zanti. Our next judge is Benjamin Kinsella. Ben, would you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. It's great to meet you all. My name is Ben. I am a member of program staff at OpenAI. So I'm in the human data team. So that team's responsible for the pre and post training for our models. So not only making them better performing on our benchmarking efforts, but also making sure they're aligned with real world use cases and safety and ethical components. Before OpenAI, I was at several startups building products. Also came before that in the foundation and nonprofit world. Outside of my full-time work, I am also a lecturer at Columbia, teaching in the Applied Analytics program.
Thanks to all our judges. Amazing contributions, amazing backgrounds, and we look forward to your participation at today's event. Before we do, let's go over the rules. So as you can see up on the screen, each team will have 5 minutes to pitch their business. We're going to be keeping the time to very, very strict. So teams that go over the 5-minute time allotted can be automatically disqualified. So please be careful. You see a clock, watch the clock, listen for it. 5 minutes, that's what you get to present. Of course, you can be under 5 minutes, but not over. Our teams have each prepared 3 presentation slides, none of which contain music, electronic media, nor any other prop. Only one team member is allowed to present. As I said, there'll be a timer counting down once the team member begins speaking. The timer will count down toward the end at 30 seconds. You'll see it on the screen. You'll see it off the screen. It'll come back on for 30 seconds. And when those 30 seconds are over, you'll hear a sound. I will say time is up, and really, that's it. After each presentation, team members will engage in a Q&A with a judge. And that Q&A is going to last approximately 3 minutes before we move on to the next team's presentation. Judges, a reminder, we've spoken about this, and I'm sure you're all looking forward to this, but please remember to keep your questions succinct and brief, because we're going to start that clock for 3 minutes as soon as you start speaking. So the more efficient your questions are, the more our teams will have a chance to respond. We'd like to remind everyone there'll be a poll where you can vote for the team you believe should win. Remember, you can vote for only one team, and we're relying on the honor system. So please cast just one vote. The voting period will last exactly 1 minute, so be ready to make your choice. Okay, we've introduced the judges, we've introduced the competition rules. Let's introduce our coaches who have worked with the teams. So like our judges, our coaches have impressive backgrounds, many of which have Columbia SPS ties, we're proud to say. Last month, the final 10 teams were each assigned a coach who has been helping strengthen their team's proposals and pitches. I'm going to introduce each team's coach, and then that coach will introduce their team to present. So let's begin. Our first coach is Inger van Rooij. Inger has been working with the team Echo House Studio. Inger, you are a community connection catalyst and storyteller who highlights change makers and fosters connections. As a strategic coach, you help corporations and entrepreneurs build communities that drive growth, loyalty, innovation, and resilience. May I ask that you please introduce your team?
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everyone. My name is Inger, as Steve said, and I am guided by the principle of Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. From as far back as I can remember, I always loved people, and it is today my privilege to introduce you to the team behind Echo House Studio, Ariadi Pradana, Hilmi Wirasatya, and Andrian Rakiman. Echo House Studio is a socially driven company creating affordable, sustainable homes that uplift families, create jobs, and empower communities. These homes reduce costs, promote sustainability, and foster community development. Echo House Studio isn't just about building homes. They're building a movement for economic, environmental, and social impact. Together, let's redefine housing for the greater good with Echo House Studio. Thank you.
Inger, thank you very much. Okay, Echo House Studio, get ready. You see the clock, and please begin.
Steve, I'm so sorry. I'm going to hold for a second. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry about that. So I just wanted to clarify the teams because we talked about it this morning. When you do the presentation, which is 5 minutes, right? You can, one person, up to 2 people can present. So it's not just one person, but up to 2 people. I just wanted to clarify that. All right, pass it back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for that clarification. That's important. Okay, so back to Echo House Studios. We're about to begin, and please go.
Imagine a family that lives in Jakarta, Indonesia, where the housing price is 23 times the annual salary. They live in a small, poorly ventilated homes, stifling air, questionable water quality, and yet high energy bills. But what if there is a solution? A way for them to live in the beautifully designed homes, energy efficient that reduce the utility bills. Good morning, everyone. We are Echo House Studio, and we make sustainable house more accessible. The picture on the left depicts the inadequate housing condition. Globally, we need 1.8 billion homes to meet the residential demand. Yet, our current approach to this accounts for 30% global emission, which requires a solution: affordable green residential. Despite active construction, green building adoption is less than 1%. Why? Because of high costs, low awareness, and interest. Echo House Studio is changing that. Our home integrates sustainable design, including natural airflow, locally sourced materials, and built-in solar panels, which reduce operational cost by 40%. We also have digital services which simplify maintenance, making our home a convenient long-term asset to live in. Next slide, please. Indonesia is the perfect place to start. It's $116 billion real estate market, with 30 billion of it in green building opportunities. Our target audience consists of 81 million potential homeowner, 10 million landowner, and those looking for contractors. Our home will be green building certified, allowing us to navigate the market as a specialist in sustainable housing. We will start small, piloting 5 units in Jakarta in 2025 to prove our model. From there, we will grow to 5,000 units and 7,000 installs. In 2028, we will bring our sustainable homes to the undeserved communities through government partnership. Beyond houses, we will also retrofit public infrastructure and commercial buildings. And in 2035, we will begin global expansion. Our revenue is strong. Our house sales have a profit for up to $8,000 per unit. We also have optional fully recycled furniture materials and also a scalable digital services. To bring our home beyond Indonesia, we aim to have a partnership with global organizations. Additionally, our demand for sustainable materials provide opportunities for local startups and communities, making sure that a path toward a greater good involves more than just us. Next slide, please. We are the first in Indonesia to integrate sustainability, affordability, and digitalization. Our innovative platforms allow us to have a lower construction margin, producing affordable homes without sacrificing qualities. Our vision also aligns with 7 UN SDGs and Indonesia's Golden Generation 2045. This is because our impact is huge. By building 5,000 units, we reduce up to 30,000 metric tons of CO2 emission annually. That's equals to removing 6,000 cars permanently from the road. Our operation also creates a lot of jobs, formalizing the informal sector and ultimately supporting potential policy recommendation. Winning the greater good challenge will enable us to innovate our design, certify our products, and scale faster. By year 4, we expect profitability and a pathway toward expansion. Eco House Studio isn't just about building homes. It's about creating a community and a pathway to a greater good. We are honored to be here, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And under the 5-minute time, which is great. We're now going to have questions from our judge, Benjamin Kinsella. Ben, we have a 3-minute Q&A period, and we'll start, please, now.
Great. Well, wonderful job. I'll get straight to my question. So you had mentioned, or I imagine that there are some high capital requirements, particularly in the short term. And you had mentioned the high cost in building these eco-friendly homes. Could you talk a little bit about the short-term the short-term benefits in terms of raising awareness and building buy-in from users who would be able to participate in this? And so I imagine maybe to get to what I'm specifically asking is like, do you need to highlight other short-term benefits apart from the more longer-term ones that you mentioned?
Okay, thank you very much. So for our user, the short-term benefit will be actually the capital to reduce the operational cost of the houses itself.
So I imagine from your presentation, there are some significant capital requirements in the short term, especially before you drive, as you scale, as costs go down. What are some short-term benefits that would incentivize someone to choose your service over a cheaper alternative? So you had mentioned some longer-term benefits. Are there any immediate advantages that could drive adoption?
Okay, thank you for the question. First of all, our house will not be built before it was ordered. So it is pre-ordered, minimalizing the financial risk. And for the short-term benefit, sustainable house supposed to be 20% more expensive than conventional ones. So we bring it in the market value so that for the customer, the value for money for our product will be amazing. Thank you.
Great. And I imagine that you had done some preliminary research into this topic, apart from the broader need, but with respect to any observations, surveys, or conversations that you had with potential customers in Indonesia. What conversations did you have? What did you learn? Who are they with? I'm just curious about the data collection efforts.
Okay, thank you for the question. So before Eco House, our team actually already launched a semi-digital construction startup. We got a lot of data from there, a lot of customer interaction, and we understand that the need of housing is real. So there are a lot of demand for housing in Indonesia. Per day, it's around 1 million house being built. So that's we learned that it's a real impact. And then for first-time home buyers, the concern will be pricing and whether they make a right investment decision, because house is a long-term investment. There are strategic location, for instance, as a variable. So that's our insight from our customers.
Awesome. Well, I have time for one quick question. So you had talked about the dual benefits of digitalization and some of the efficiencies that can reduce operational costs. Can you elaborate how you're balancing the dual focus on technology and construction? I guess this is in light of larger players like developers, and how you're differentiating your work with others.
Okay, so our technology is actually for minimizing maintenance. So from the beginning, customers will pick the design within the digital services. And then once they become the resident of the house, all of the maintenance will be through the digital services as well. So that's about it. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Great. All right. No more questions from my end.
All right, so let's go to our next coach, Haley Berlin. Haley is the founder and CEO of Additive Agency, which creates impactful brand strategies and experiences for clients such as, wait for this, Columbia University, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and the World Wildlife Fund. Haley also teaches purpose-driven communications at Columbia and serves on the boards of Democracy Works and Tyler Clementi Foundation. Haley, can you please introduce your team, BOD?
Thank you so much, Steve. I'm thrilled to be here and have coached BOD. They've developed a new sustainably sourced energy gel made from all natural ingredients, so endurance athletes and outdoor enthusiasts have the fuel they need to go the distance. With you today are Ashna and Sukhpreet, and in the audience is Renita. They're 3 applied analytics graduate students who've bonded over their love of hiking, running marathons, and pushing the boundaries of nature and competition. Whether they're chasing the next summit or crossing the finish line, this is the next step in their journey, which is to create an energy gel that delivers fast, sustained energy without compromise. Each of the team members you're going to hear from, Sukhpreet and Ashna today, as well as Renita, bring their unique expertise, whether it's as nutrition enthusiasts, outdoor enthusiasts, or their love of design and marketing. I'm really thrilled to introduce you to them both and just share that BOD fuels adventures big and small, helping athletes go further, feel better, and enjoy the journey. So with that, please welcome Sukhpreet, and then Ashna will take the lead in Q&A. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Haley. And BOD, we're going to start the clock. Please go.
Good morning, everyone. Imagine this. You're at mile 18 of a marathon. Your energy is crashing. Your stomach is in knots, and every step feels heavier than the last. That's the reality for so many athletes using traditional energy gels, loaded with sugar and artificial additives. But what if there was a better way? A way to fuel athletes naturally, sustainably, and without compromise. That's where BOD Energy Gel comes in. We're not just an energy gel. We're revolutionizing what it means to fuel performance. We are doing so with a product that's backed by science and expert validation. A leading nutritionist and wellness coach shared her perspective on BOD, highlighting the key benefits. Sustained energy. With organic coconut sugar and quinoa, we offer a steady energy release. No spikes, no crashes. Clean, whole ingredients. Our real food approach aligns with today's growing demand for transparent nutrition. And lastly, electrolyte support. Natural sea salt and coconut water powder maintain hydration and muscle function, critical for peak performance and recovery. BOD Energy Gel is a first to market a low FODMAP clean energy solution. But what is FODMAP? FODMAP is essentially a fancy way of saying short-chain carbohydrates that our gut struggles to absorb. By lowering FODMAP, BOD provides clean energy without the digestive discomfort. Made with real fruit, natural electrolytes, and none of the junk, we provide sustained energy without the GI distress. It's not just about winning races. It's about feeling good while doing it. Next slide, please. Our core market includes endurance athletes and outdoor enthusiasts who crave clean energy without performance trade-offs. The market for energy gels is booming, projected to surpass $1 billion by 2034 with a CAGR, compound annual growth rate, of 7.6%. Let me break that down. CAGR represents the consistent growth rate of an investment or market over a period in time. In this case, it signals sustained demand for products like ours. This growth is driven by an increasing number of endurance athletes, a rising global focus on sustainable nutrition, and heightened awareness of digestive health. This opportunity extends to target health and fitness enthusiasts, youth sports teams, college athletes, busy professionals, and even travelers. BOD is uniquely positioned to lead this growing market with several competitive advantages. While many competitors overlook the gut health challenges athletes face, BOD is taking the lead as the first to market low FODMAP energy gel. Our nimble approach allows us to adapt to customer feedback and market trends in both our target and expansion market. Next slide, please. Our mission goes beyond individual performance. Every BOD gel fuels a healthier, more sustainable world. We ethically source our ingredients and support fair labor practices. Our biodegradable packaging helps protect the planet we love to explore. And by reducing sugar dependence, we're tackling long-term societal health issues. The best part, our mission and margins align beautifully, proving that profit and purpose can run the same race together. Our first year is focused on launching 2 initial flavors, grape and watermelon, and establishing direct-to-consumer e-commerce sites. With a gross margin of 20%, we're balancing ambitious growth with realistic margins. In year 2, we'll introduce 2 more flavors, launch energy bites and chews, and drive targeted influencer campaigns, with margins increasing to 25% as we scale and optimize. And by year 3, we'll roll out customer loyalty programs and test small-scale retail distribution, aiming for $220,000 in revenue with a 30% margin. This growth demonstrates our ability to scale sustainably while maintaining alignment with our mission. We're here to fuel athletes, improve lives, and protect the planet, all while creating a thriving, profitable business. With BOD, every stride matters for the athlete, for society, and for the environment. Let's fuel the future together. Thank you all so much for your time.
Okay, thank you. Again, under the 5 minutes. Appreciate that. And we're going to have Q&A now from our judge.
What we've learned so far is the ethos of our brand, that we need to provide athletes and runners with a sustainable energy product that does not have a long list of ingredients with high sugar and additives. That is, while I understand that there are 2 very different segments, the need for a low FODMAP and easily digestible product still remains the same. So in terms of our research, Renita, one of our team members, actually just ran the marathon this year, and she relied heavily on GU, which is one of the prevailing energy gels company that is also our competitor. We've identified as our competitor. And what she experienced was that it hurt her stomach a lot after taking in a lot of the energy gels. And that is something that we've seen consistently in our research, that it troubles the stomach and it hampers the performance. I would just like to start that even though there's a really strong competition, but I would just quote an example that Kraft mac and cheese existed before Annie's came in. And even though they're direct competition, Annie's serves a very different consumer demographic than what Kraft serves. So keeping that in mind, that is how we differentiate our product from Gatorade.
All right, Team BOD, thank you. And Judge Grant, thank you as well. Our next coach is Shahryar Shaghi, who's been working with the team Shepherd BOD. Shahryar is a professor of professional practice in the Enterprise Risk Management program at Columbia University's School of Professional Studies. A seasoned executive with over 30 years of experience, he has specialized in technology and risk management, with a focus on cybersecurity and data privacy. Shahryar has held diverse leadership roles across a wide range of organizations, bringing a wealth of expertise to his academic and professional endeavors. Shahryar, good morning, and can you please introduce your team, Shepherd BOD?
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for the introduction. I'm privileged and excited to introduce you to a great and amazing, talented team with Yanning, Annie, Peter, Henry, and Martin, who are members of our Shepherd team. They each bring their own talent, passion, and skill set together to make this business feasible from a real perspective and giving back to our society. So what problem are they trying to solve? They're, we all live in a very heavy digital age, rapid proliferation of the bots and automatic generation of various contents that we have to trust and exchange ideas, which could be used for manipulation of generating fake traffic and compromising integrity of the information exchange. So in short, Shepherd team, an AI-driven bot detection tool, can help us solve this huge problem. And I'll pass this on to the team to give you a little more color in terms of the actual solution. Thank you.
Shahryar, thank you. And team, you'll see the clock on the top right. Ready, set, go.
Raise your hand if you've ever been influenced to buy or not buy a product because of something you saw on Reddit. With Black Friday just behind us, I can't even count how many times I checked Reddit before deciding whether to hit checkout cart. Turns out I'm a lot like 63% of people in the US who regularly include Reddit as a search term when seeking out authentic information and advice. I trust comments on Reddit threads more than company websites or sponsored reviews because they're real conversations by real regular people just like you and me. Or so I thought. Turns out it's much easier to buy and use bots on Reddit than you might think. There are a multitude of AI-driven bot farms that allow anyone, businesses, politicians, even individuals, to manipulate online conversations for less than the price of an average dinner in New York. And if we're just talking about fake product reviews for a Black Friday haul, big deal, right? But imagine what implication this has on journalism, on stock markets, and on politics. There are professionals in these fields who make major decisions based on internet discourse, decisions with huge societal impacts like billion-dollar policy shifts or trading pension funds using Wall Street algorithms. So the fact that the rise of AI has made online discourse so easily manipulated, well, that's dangerous. Next slide, please. Our solution to this is simple. Shepherd is an AI-driven browser extension that analyzes user profiles, detecting bot-like behavior, and scoring it on how likely it is to be a bot. I think we're showing slide 3. Can we show slide 2, please? Bot detection has been around for decades, and most platforms have some form of bot detection mechanism built into their systems. They take into account things like account metadata or when and where their account was made. But today's AI-powered bots are getting smarter and exponentially better at skirting around these outdated detection models. Shepherd goes a step beyond by using those classical techniques and including large language model or LLM analysis. Essentially, Shepherd works by ingesting the text post and comment history of a user, runs it through a multi-pronged prompt that we have crafted using the latest bot detection techniques and theory, and populates our GDPR-compliant database with a score about the likelihood of that account being a bot. That score is then ready to be glanced at by any Shepherd user encountering that account. And yes, Shepherd won't be foolproof. Relying on OpenAI means there will always be a margin of error. So we're not here to give definitive black and white answers. Instead, we frame our assessments in percentages and break down each rating so users can make their own decisions on who to trust. Of course, as AI models and our user base grows, our ratings will become more and more accurate. And ultimately, we believe that even having a rough guide can be far more helpful than navigating the internet blind. Next slide. Shepherd is the combination of GPT-0, reCAPTCHA, and Grammarly. We're combining the ability to assess LLM-generated text with existing behavior and metadata tracking models and putting that all together to provide valuable assessments at crucial moments in a user-friendly way. Now, we already have a functioning prototype of our plugin. In October, we created a Chrome extension that was able to scan individual profiles. But this plugin was hosted locally, running requests using our developers' own OpenAI tokens. With a round of capital, we can grow from this to a fully developed scalable service. We'll operate using a freemium model, where free users get access to our database, meaning they can see the scores of accounts that have already been analyzed by other users. But for users whose jobs rely on making decisions based on internet discourse, our paid tier allows them to directly scan up to 5,000 accounts per month, understand insights into our scoring, and assess the health of their own communities and followers. In the freemium pilot phase, we're projecting 5,000 users, with 10% converting to paid subscriptions. At a conservative estimate of $30 per month, this would generate $180,000 in annual recurring revenue, ARR, in just the first 6 months. By year 3, we can also expand into B2B integrations and API licensing, which could push us past $8 to $10 million in ARR. Shepherd is also uniquely positioned. While many AI language detection models exist, thus far, there is no major player providing the latest LLM bot account analysis to consumers for online forums like Reddit and X, platforms where users urgently need guidance on what to trust. When we created Shepherd, we envisioned a guide through the complex bot-driven digital landscape, a response to the bot farms that are dominating the internet. We're not just building technology, we're building trust in the future of online discourse. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And with 10 seconds to spare, we're now going to go to a Q&A session for 3 minutes and hear from Judge Benjamin Kinsella. Ben, you see the clock, and please begin your questions.
Well, congrats. This is fantastic work. So my first question is about false positives and user trust. So how do you plan to address the potential risk of false positives? So that is incorrectly identifying legitimate content as bot generated, particularly in sensitive areas. So let's say politics on Reddit, which maybe could erode trust. Do you think there are any measures that you could take to minimize these risks and maintain confidence among your users?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways that we can break that down. First is we don't explicitly say this is a bot or isn't a bot. We do everything in percentages, and we also show our different means of analysis. So you can see, is it because this uses very standardized types of responses? That could be a bot. We also identify that that could be a communications team. That could be a troll farm. That could be different forms of non-organic, not entirely regular discourse. And so we identify our logic and rationale behind that.
Great. I think we have time for one or more questions. So my next is about relying heavily on the OpenAI developer keys. So do you see any risk in this dependency? I know you had mentioned with the round of funding that you would build this out in scale, but there are potential changes, for example, in API terms or access restrictions. How could you mitigate these risks?
Yeah, we explored early on having a traffic to use different services, but we found that that came with the risk of different LLMs providing very different rating analyses, even with similar prompts. So relying on OpenAI in the immediate short term helps. Changing into adapting our own model might be something to explore with more growth. But in the short term, OpenAI has provided us stability and product improvement that we couldn't deliver for ourselves. Did that answer your question, or should I attack it differently?
Yeah, no, that's great. And then that gives me time to ask one more question in the last minute. So the search ecosystem is actually very interesting and changing quickly. So a lot of players, Perplexity, OpenAI, and its new search capabilities are tackling similar issues. I know you had mentioned Reddit, so I'm curious on your approach and how you're differentiating existing solutions with what you're working on with social media and Reddit.
Yeah, there's a couple different competitors that we know are out there. Things like Botometer, Bot Sentinel have been around in Reddit and X for a long time, but they were much more legacy, not using LLM bot detection in the same way. And there are, of course, the LLM detection tools like GPT-0, which are for like plagiarism detection, so not one-to-one overlapping. And we are seeing more platforms like Firefox as Review Checker that checks for LLM-based reviews in Amazon and other things. So we think that that is why in year 3, there's huge room for either partnering in, exiting early, becoming part of the security operation for large platforms. But we don't know the exact road to get there yet. So we'll explore that kind of as we work through the ecosystem.
Very cool. Well, thank you. To the 10 seconds.
Okay. Thank you, Team ShepherdBot, and thank you, Ben. And now that brings us to our next coach, Rodrigo Prado. So Rodrigo has been working with Team Sante Health, and he's the co-founder and managing partner of Primus, driving business transformation through advanced analytics, AI, and intelligent automation. Rodrigo holds a master's in applied analytics from Columbia University, chairs the Global Alumni Coalition for Latin America, and serves on the AI and Data Committee at AmCham, Chile. Rodrigo, can you please introduce your team, Sante Health?
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, well, this year I had the privilege to coach the Sante Health team. Sante Health is transforming global infectious disease prevention through cutting-edge innovation. By integrating artificial intelligence, GIS mapping, and real-time surveillance, they identify high-risk areas and predict outbreaks before they happen, empowering communities to act proactively and save lives. Their mission is to revolutionize public health by making prevention smarter, faster, and more effective. As someone who has been working in the AI world, I am convinced that AI should focus on creating a positive impact for everyone. So that's why I'm particularly excited about Sante Health's value proposition and its potential to change life at a global scale. So their teams bring some parallel expertise to this mission. Mirella is a sanitary and environmental engineer with hands-on experience and combating infectious diseases in Haiti and Brazil. Victoria combines health, science, and technology with experience in a startup and strategy consulting globally. And Kenan brings 20 years of digital transformation and expertise at Fortune companies. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rodrigo. We're going to see the clock, and we're going to start, excuse me, right now.
Globally, 3 billion people lack access to sanitation, leading to 350 million cases of infectious diseases every year and millions of deaths from cholera, malaria, dengue, among other infectious diseases. Brazil is battling its worst dengue epidemic with 10 million cases and an economic impact of 4 billion this year. With 2023 being the warmest year on record, such scenarios are increasing drastically. We are Sante Health, and we are creating a system to fight this public health crisis with an AI prediction model using geographic information system to map high-risk areas. By combining real-time surveillance with targeted interventions, we empower decision makers to act and prioritize resources to the areas that need it the most to prevent outbreaks. Next slide, please.
Considering the most impacted countries in South America and an 8% market share, Sante Health has an opportunity of 180 million in that region. Our competitive edge lies in a deep understanding of the Brazilian healthcare market and sanitation scenarios, and a team of engineers and public health professionals with experience in healthcare, sanitation, as well as tech. Beyond Brazil, we aim to expand across Latin America, addressing additional infectious diseases such as Zika, malaria, or cholera. Our initial expansion strategy includes the integration of vaccination and sanitation data to support the 2030 agenda, as we see a significant gap here. The main goal in the medium term is to, on the one hand, protect 100 million people by expanding to 3 additional countries. Secondly, reduce infectious diseases by 25%. And lastly, reduce economic losses due to infectious diseases. With letters of intent, we'll get some support from a lawyer for legal assistance, as well as an angel investor with experience in software and tech solutions.
Next slide, please. As a social impact, we are saving lives and protecting communities' health. As an economic impact, we are reducing healthcare costs, GDP losses, and wage impacts. Our business model includes 3 main products. We have the health site analytics with advanced decision-making, mostly for public health agencies. We also have the premium subscription with geographic data and projections for larger healthcare providers. And we have the basic subscription with essential features, mostly for healthcare departments. We plan partnerships with local institutions and foundations such as Lehman, Rockefeller, Bill and Melinda Gates, and also CDC, and also global programs as the World Mosquito Program. With the 10K from the Greater Good Challenge, we will allocate the funds mainly into model testing, resources, and price sensitivity analysis. For the pilot project, we are projecting 100K, and we have potential fundings from 2 additional challenges, including the CIPA Palace Challenge here at Columbia. By 2027, we will protect 100 million people, reducing cases by 25%, and we have a revenue projection of $12 million. We are also creating social impact by supporting the SDGs, especially number 3, to promote health and well-being for all. Join us in transforming infectious diseases prevention, one community at a time, starting now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that concludes the presentation. And now we're going to turn the mic and video over to Judge Tricia Bauman for our 3-minute Q&A. Tricia, you see the clock, and please begin.
Hey, thank you, Steve. First, I just want to say this is really an admirable project, really impressive, very exciting. So, as we know, there's a high degree of competition in the AI-driven disease prediction space. And if you could talk about your strategic partnerships that you've signaled as what it will be providing you with your competitive advantage in the Brazilian market. So in what ways specifically, how are these strategic partnerships going to put you in a place of distinct advantage?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great question. We have one pilot going on in Brazil right now as we're going through the MVP pilot project at the CIPA Challenge. And we have one partnership with this city in Brazil. It's one city that they had one of the highest incidence of cases of dengue this year. And we have the partnership with the Secretary of Health of this city that is supporting us and making connections with other local health departments. Because we were running the models right now and trying different variables into the models, we want to make sure that models are running properly so we can apply to other cities. And once we have the model running in this city, we are using this connection with the Secretary of Health to go beyond that city and expand to other states in Brazil.
Great, thank you. It looks like we still have time, so I'm going to bring up another question, please. If you could talk about your proprietary technology, how it works, and if we take the strategic partnership out of the picture, how is it that you're going to be able to develop to a level your technology to a level where you can actually implement to a place of scaling, and how would that be in fact effective in keeping big tech, which already is in the Brazilian market, from in fact taking up strategic partnerships to be able to do the same thing, obviously. So the question is your proprietary technology, and how is that such that it's going to actually be the factor in handling your big tech competition?
No, yeah, absolutely. We are in contact with Blue Dot, which is a company from Canada that is supporting us also with the models. So using that partnership, and they have done some research back in Brazil. We're also running some strategic research analysis in Brazil currently. That is going to support us to have like the model running with different variables. So then we can use the model and expand to other cities. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, at the buzzer. Thank you, Team Sante Health, and thank you, Judge Trisha. So our next team is Blue Carbon Bahamas, and Mary Palmieri is the coach for Blue Carbon Bahamas, but couldn't make it today. So I'll introduce her team. First, let me introduce Mary. Mary is a leader in the online CPG retail space, an e-commerce entrepreneur, and a management consulting specializing in business development and digital innovation. Mary holds a degree from Columbia University. She has a master's of science in information knowledge strategy, and she teaches a digital product innovation course at Columbia. Now, on Mary's behalf, let me introduce her team. Anat, Ariella, and Nora all met in Columbia's Sustainability Management Program. Ariella is currently a student of Sustainability Management. She has a background of financial services, trading environmental commodities such as carbon credits. Her carbon project experience was instrumental to this venture. Nora is a consultant of ESG and financial services with a background in biodiversity and ecology. She crafted the financial model of the project and contributed with her biodiversity perspective. Anat is a civil engineer and a sustainability consultant focused on the built environment, carbon, and ESG. Currently, she lives in the Bahamas, where she noticed the untapped opportunity that gave birth to the project she will present today. Team Blue Carbon Bahamas, we're going to put the clock up so that you can see your 5-minute time limit, and I will ask you to begin.
The Bahamas marine ecosystems are at risk. I will share how you can be part of the solution. Hello, my name is Anat Revai, and I'm here to present Blue Carbon Bahamas. The picture you see on the screen is one of many I have taken while flying over Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas, and the place I get to call home. You may notice a large body of water in the middle. That is Lake Killarney. It represents roughly 10% of the island's area and has a rich ecosystem of mangroves, fish, and bird species. However, it lacks official protection. It's inaccessible, and its shores are being destroyed by development. Now, I'm not here with a conservation plea, but rather with a greater good business idea to combat climate change while leveraging the Bahamas' natural heritage. The stakes are high. Due to its low geography and location in the Atlantic hurricane belt, the Bahamas faces the brunt of climate change. On average, it is hit by a hurricane every 2 years. The country depends on its pristine marine ecosystems for tourism, yet Nassau has already lost 32% of its mangroves area to development. Mangroves are key to fighting climate change. They store 10 times more carbon than terrestrial forests, promote biodiversity, and minimize the impacts of hurricanes. since they act as a buffer, reducing storm surge and soil erosion. The Bahamas committed to protecting 30% of its ecosystems by 2030. Although it's making good progress, there are significant challenges in getting sustainable funding and effective management for protected areas. Just 2 weeks ago, the Bahamas refinanced $300 million of its external debt. Of these, $120 million will be used for marine conservation and climate change mitigation. Revitalizing Lake Killarney is not just an environmental need, it's an economic opportunity for sustainable development. Next slide, please. Our vision is to transform Lake Killarney into an accessible natural reserve. I invite you to close your eyes and imagine you're visiting the Bahamas. You arrive at the beautiful Lake Killarney Eco Park. The entrance itself is already exciting, and the local ranger greets you and provides you with the top recommendations for the park. You explore the park through elevated walkways, kayaking trails, and educational signage. This park will promote biodiversity, empower the local community with healthy access to nature, and strengthen the economy through job creation, tourism revenue, and the sale of carbon credits from marine ecosystems, also known as blue carbon credits. Overall, our solution provides a replicable and scalable business model for climate change mitigation and adaptation. Next slide, please. So, how do we take this idea from root to reality? Step 1, assessment. Engage ecologists to evaluate the ecosystem's health and define restoration goals. We've already connected with a company called Earthly that can help us perform this assessment. The cost of this is between $500 and $1,500. Step 2, government buy-in. Secure legal and financial agreements to devise a win-win structure for the project. This represents a cost of $8,000 to $15,000. Step 3, carbon project certification. Follow established industry frameworks to develop a blue carbon project. This includes scientific studies, project design, operations, and monitoring. Reputable carbon registries such as Verra or Gold Standard verify the whole process and finally emit carbon credits for sale in the voluntary carbon markets. The cost of this process is between $50,000 and $150,000. Finally, step 4, monetization. Develop the eco park and monetize through park fees and carbon credit sales. Financially, this is a winning model. The total project cost is $4.7 million. The Blue Carbon Bahamas project proves it's possible to align environmental preservation with financial returns. With your help, we can bring this vision to life. Thank you, and I'm happy to take your questions.
Blue Carbon Bahamas, we're going to invite Judge Zanti Ho to ask you questions, and we're going to keep to our 3-minute Q&A. So,
and thank you both for being here. One of the challenges with eco parks is, of course, that many beautiful locations around the world that have been opened up to tourism have experienced a lot of additional disturbance and potential side effects in terms of the visitors. How will you address these potential side effects in terms of impacting both the natural habitats of the animals as well as the local community?
Yeah, thank you. Well, one of the main things of this project is to protect the environment, and by creating the infrastructure necessary to do so, so creating elevated walkways, signage that showcases the importance of that flora and fauna for the local and global community. And as well, because this project comes with blue carbon projects, we must keep this preserved. So it will count with regular monitoring and operations to ensure that that is the case, and we'll take the necessary measures along the way to ensure that it counts with an additional level of protection than other projects.
Great. And tell me a little bit more about why you guys have chosen to make this a business venture rather than to work with the local government in some kind of a nonprofit way to preserve the local landscape.
Right. So it is our idea to work with the local government. However, it's been noticed, and the government even says it in their official notices, that they need help in preserving their natural ecosystems. They have set a goal of 30% conservation, but they have not really achieved it. And one of the main reasons that they state is that they need help. So we are here to be that partner. That's why our step 2 is getting government buy-in, achieving that, both financially and structurally, finance and legally structuring the project in a way that is a win-win situation, so that we can help them, but it's also a profitable venture, so that it can, provide an example to make sustainability cost efficient as well.
If I may step in here as well, this is the reason we're engaging with blue carbon and the voluntary carbon market. Globally, many countries are struggling very heavily to meet their biodiversity protection goals, and part of this is financial. And through engaging with the voluntary carbon market, we're able to build a sustainable business model for the protection of ecosystems, such as the one of Lake Killarney.
Looks like there are 30 seconds left. Any other last question?
I think that this is a great use of the time. If you guys want to add anything in terms of the overall approach, please feel free.
Just 10 seconds left.
No, thank you. Help us bring
Okay.
Lake to life.
Thank you. Thank you, Team Blue Carbon Bahamas and Judge Zanti. Thank you very much. Let's go to our next team, Adonix Medical, and to Coach Ricardo Taveras. Ricardo is an accomplished entrepreneur, investor, and operator with expertise in travel tech, health tech, and sports tech. With a proven track record of transforming ideas into thriving businesses, Ricardo serves as a seasoned growth operator and mentor, an entrepreneur to the Columbia community. A mentor entrepreneur, as he continues to invest in more growth stage companies and venture-backed companies through his operating PE efforts. He's also an alumnus of the Columbia SPS Enterprise Risk Management Program. Ricardo, welcome. And may I ask you to please introduce your team, Adonix Medical.
Absolutely. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited for what the audience is about to experience in the next 5 minutes. But basically, a very talented group of tech students have gathered, tech management students from SPS have gathered and surround themselves with FDA, patent, and medical experts advisors to essentially redefine how medical devices are designed for children, aiming at mainly comfort and style, starting with a very interesting initial case, which is to change respiratory airways for children that cannot breathe. And it's a product segment that hasn't really received any innovation in the past 30 years. So it's very interesting to see what they came up with. This is a very personal and emotional project for the team, given the personal story of one of the finalists. So without further ado, Adonix Medical, everybody.
Okay, before you begin, I want to check how we are. Oh, good. There's the clock. Welcome back, clock. All right. Team Adonix, you see the clock, and please begin.
Every year, 3.9 million pediatric surgical interventions take place worldwide. And for many children, these procedures lead to a reliance on medical devices for ongoing support. Now, while these devices serve their purpose, their cumbersome and outdated design can make it difficult for children to use them independently and to fully participate in their daily activities. Worse, these devices can lead to infections and inflammation, sacrificing comfort for functionality. At Adonix Medical, we're redesigning the next generation of medical devices to empower children worldwide, starting with our first solution, a redesigned tracheostomy tube and accompanying application.
Now, what exactly is a tracheostomy? First of all, I invite you all to come back with me in 2019 when my child actually got his first tracheostomy procedure done. Although it was an emotional journey, for the past 5 years, I've learned so much about tracheostomy tubes, and I've been excited to share it with my friends and my family. And so for me, if I could go back in time, I would have designed a tube that was more comfortable, that would have prevented excessive scar tissue buildup, and would have also allowed me to step in the case of any critical event. So just picture this. It's 2 a.m., your child's device falls out. The nurse is not there, and the pulse ox monitor falls out, which means your child's oxygen levels have fallen, and you're not able to see that. Our app would alert you before finding the child in distress, allowing you to react immediately. If I could go back in time, this would be the product that I would have created for my child and countless other families facing the same issue. This experience has inspired our solution and continues to drive us forward. What makes this device so special is its unique, sleek design, and more specifically, integrated with sensors that would allow anyone to be able to keep in touch with what's going on with their loved one. Next slide, please.
So Adonix Medical is already making great strides. We've engaged over 69 caregivers and patients to gather insights and refine our solutions. Additionally, we have 100 subscribers that are waitlisted and currently waiting for our app, which is in development, which will lay the groundwork for a robust digital platform and community. To achieve our vision, we've mapped out a clear 4-phase strategy, which first involves building a community of 10,000 testers as we continue to validate our prototypes. Next, we'll move through FDA testing and approval, and we are currently in communication, building partnerships with distributors of medical devices such as Medline and Cardinal Health. And lastly, after we go to market, we plan to review our process and refine it for our next medical device that we plan to tackle. Our competitive advantage really lies in the 4 key features that aren't offered by our competitors. Again, integrating sensor technology with our tracheostomy tube, having better material so it leads to prevention of scar tissue, offering comfort with a children user design at mind, and working towards building chemically infused trach ties to prevent bacterial infections. Next slide, please.
Finally, we have been working so diligently with our esteemed board of advisors, and we have to say thank you. Thank you so much for leading us to this next step of finally being able to take our prototype to FDA. Thank you so much for teaching us all of the steps necessary into getting our proprietary schematics reviewed by the FDA. Our mission goes beyond innovation. We are dedicated to supporting children with complex medical needs and giving them a voice in a space where they're often overlooked. We intend to reimagine the next generation of medical devices and empower children globally. Together, we're not just creating products. We are crafting a legacy of empathy and transformation and justice. And that's why we stand on these 5 pillars within the UN Sustainability Goals. So thank you so much. And we hope that you continue to work with us as we just continue to lift these children. And again, thank you to the Beba Foundation and Greenworks and CDL for this opportunity. We are so honored to be here. Thank you. And we open the floor for questions.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to start our clock at 3 minutes. So thank you, Team Adonix Medical, and turn it over to Judge Korhan Beba. Korhan, we're see the clock, and we're going to ask you to start, please, now.
Okay, great. So thank you, Anne, and everyone. I think you did a fantastic job presenting. Just a couple questions to try to understand the size of the opportunity at the end of the day, right? So can you please talk a little bit about your business model? Like, how is this idea going to exactly make money? Who is your target audience? And then if you can also talk a little bit about the serviceable, obtainable market. I think I had some confusion around some of the numbers that you put through, like the total addressable market being around 100 million, and then the serviceable, obtainable market was about 1 million. So I don't know if those numbers are actually correct or not, but if you can elaborate a little bit, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. So for us, when we looked at this market, we presented the number of surgeries that that children experience within a year. So when we're looking at our obtainable market, we're looking at the North American market of implantable devices that are sustained after, right? So we showcased 300,000, and of that, there are about 4,000 surgeries that are connected to tracheostomies. So of that, although it is standing right now as like per year, it is projected within the next 5 years as we continue to move past our research and prototyping and finally to FDA, which takes almost 36 months. We look to address those children's hospitals first and scaling that and year after year. As I said, my child didn't only have a tracheostomy for a year. You're talking about children who are going through their lives living with an actual tracheostomy.
Okay, so you're saying it's basically to start small, and then you do have a kind of long ways to go in terms of developing and getting the FDA approval, right? Because medical devices usually take up to 7 years in terms of the development cycle. All right, and then can you talk a little bit about your business model? How are you going to make money?
Yes. So our distribution, once we get the approval from the FDA, our hope is to partner with the medical distribution companies, as we mentioned within our presentation, so Medline and Cardinal Health, and then working with the Children's Hospital local to the various cities within the North American market. So distributing to them and then working with the partnerships with the durable medical equipment companies that provide a month-to-month supply of tracheostomy tubes to children and also adults.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That seems to end our questions for Adonix Medical. Thank you very much, and thank you, Judge Korhan. Next, we're going to go to our coach, Catherine Alservoni, who's been working with Blue Harmony Project. Catherine, or Kat Alservoni, is the founder of Staghorn NYC, a landscape design firm, and the blog The Cultivation. Passionate about reconnecting people to nature, she creates outdoor spaces that seamlessly blend with interiors using sustainable materials and low-maintenance native plants for year-round beauty and practicality. Kat, can you please introduce your team, Blue Harmony Project? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I've been so delighted to coach Shaif, Lydia, and Kyrgyz of the Blue Harmony Project. Blue Harmony's objective is to empower small fishing communities beginning in Indonesia with education and improved infrastructure to utilize more sustainable fishing practices. This will lead to significant impacts, both socially and environmentally, and on both the local and global level. On the business side, their model and methodology also has great potential for scaling globally. I find that the team's energy and intention behind their project is extremely compelling, and I can't wait for you guys to learn more about Blue Harmony Project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Here's the clock, and Blue Harmony Project, please begin.
Hi everyone, my name is Shai from in Colombia, and with me comes Lydia, our technical expert. She also a student of Land and Water Management Wageningen University, and Georgi, our data and marketing expert from Pen Colombia. And that is Michael and the best mentor too here, Catherine. Thank you very much, Kat, for the introduction. So I will start by quoting a sentence that comes from one of the best American marine biologist and oceanographer, Dr. Sylvia Earle. She said that the future of the ocean is not in our hand, it's in our heart. And the ocean that she talks about are on the brink of total destruction because 90% of the world ocean fish stock is on the brink of total collapse due to overfishing and unsustainable practice. Yet, fish consumption is at all-time high. Year by year, from 2018 to 2023, fish consumption is increasing by 10% per capita. The crazy thing is, only 45% of fish that we eat comes from the ocean. In essence, we destroy 90% of our fish stock to get 45% for consumption. We cannot keep up with the demand. So what can we do? We can create sustainable aquaculture or integrated multi-trophic aquaculture, for short IMTA, where we take the waste from one species to provide food for the others. FAO said that this practice cut pollution by 30% and increased biodiversity by 25%. As a bonus, this process also captures CO2. So why IMTA? The daily waste of 1 ton of fish from traditional aquaculture is equal to the waste of 78 people. Imagine, if we want to make aquaculture our main source of fish. Next slide, please. So we know our problem. Our ocean ecosystem are collapsing, fish demand is skyrocketing, and traditional aquaculture isn't sustainable. But this isn't just a global issue. It profoundly impacts coastal community around the world. In fact, it impacts them the most. Especially the fishermen in Bontang. These fishermen are the true hero of our story. They have lived in harmony with the ocean for generations, understanding its rhythm, challenge, and immense value better than anyone else. Here's the thing. It's not about us solving this problem for them. It's about empowering this community to overcome their challenge. With the leadership of Blue Harmony Project, we will introduce them to the integrated multi-trophic aquaculture system. We are here to support them in sustaining their tradition, improving their livelihood, and protecting the ocean that they rely on. So imagine the fishermen in Bontang leading the way by turning waste into opportunity, where the byproduct of fish become food for the first filter mussel, and waste from mussel will become nutrient for the seaweed. This isn't just about farming fish. It's about creating a self-sustaining ecosystem that benefits both the ocean and the community who depends on it. By adopting IMTA, these fishermen can not only provide for their family, but also safeguard their way of life for generations to come. From Bontang to the world, we are enabling coastal community to thrive sustainably. Next slide, please. Now, where is Bontang actually? Our pilot site. It's a dynamic coastal city in East Kalimantan, located just 150 miles from Indonesia's new capital, Nusantara. This close proximity makes Bontang the perfect place to showcase sustainable development, creating a ripple effect for other regions to follow. Bontang fishing industry has been under serious pressure. Overfishing of key species like snapper, combined with destructive and illegal practice, has made it increasingly difficult for local fishermen to sustain their livelihood. But this isn't just a challenge, it's an opportunity for meaningful change. Blue Harmony aims to transform existing traditional aquaculture that already there into integrated multi-trophic aquaculture. This project is not only eco-friendly and efficient, but also designed to be affordable and scalable. To kickstart this transformation, we will invest 50,000 in essential areas like permits, infrastructure, species stocking, and community outreach. Within the first year, the system is projected to generate 66,000 in revenue by sustainably farming fish, clams, and seaweed. But this isn't just about number, it's about empowering local community to lead the way towards a sustainable future. Starting in Bontang, we can build a model that helps both the people and the planet to thrive. Thank you for your attention. Let's make the ocean thrive by supporting our project. Thank you.
So the clock has disappeared, and we're going to thank Team Blue Harmony Project and Judge Korhan. Thank you again for a second round of questions. And now I'm going to introduce another team, Team Golden Support and Coach Sunai Aiken. Sunai Aiken is an expert in sustainability, data management, assessment, and disclosures. He currently works as the Global Director of Sustainability Data and Analytics at Mars Pet Care, leading the creation, management, and disclosure of sustainability data, management of ERP integration, installment of digital solutions, and integration of sustainability metrics into business risks and opportunities. Sunai, welcome, and I'll ask you to please introduce your team, Golden Support.
Thank you so much, Steve, and hi, everyone. So I'm really proud here to be part of this great team, Golden Support, Yifan, Tianyi, Lin, and Anne. Today, the Golden Support is going to address an issue that hits all of us at somewhere in our lives, the elderly care, and to find the support during the times that they need the most of help. The project will address three objectives. So the first one is help elderly and their caretakers to navigate through the convoluted web of healthcare. And then the second objective is make them feel comfortable using technology and AI to address their medical needs. And finally, to help them feel emotionally supported and get the healthcare needs with their caregivers. So they're turning to you to support to get the uplifted project and help them for the greater good challenge. So thank you so much.
Great, thank you. We're going to get the clock up on the screen, set it at 5 minutes, and Team Golden Support, please begin.
Thank you for the introduction. Hey everyone, we are Golden Support. Our solution leverages AI to tackle the healthcare management challenges for the elderly. This idea came from a personal experience. My grandmom had a health issue, and arranging a doctor's appointment was stressful and slow. While waiting for the doctor's availability, her condition got worsened, and we struggled to find a solution that connected her, our family, and her doctor efficiently. And my parents also found it hard to balance the work and caregiving. So as a result, my grandparents also felt lonely and unsupported in today's busy world. But they had to wait until my parents came home to help them. This made me wonder, why isn't there a solution? So Golden Support was created to address this gap with AI-powered solutions. With Golden Support, we have an opportunity to contribute to in supporting over 82 million elderly people, over 34 million family caregivers, and more than 7,000 hospitals in the US by 2050. Next page, please.
Now, take a closer look to our solutions. Golden Support is planned with multiple features. Among them, the 6 key features are appointment management, prescription and delivery, health indicator dashboard and alert, three-way communications, elderly patient target design, and Golden AI. While some existing solutions in the market have implemented some elements of these features, Golden Support aims to provide a more holistic, integrated approach. Our solution unique selling points are, first, elderly segmentation target design, which consider the technology navigation ability of this segmentation in the feature design and UI/UX function at the simplest. Second, the Golden AI applications in various touchpoints of Golden Support. As in elderly applications, it enables the elderly people to ask anything they need by voice or taking pictures with preview questions, where there is no one to support them around. Or in hospital applications, it empowers doctors by diagnostic predictions based on patient health records. With those features, our business model will start with online consultations for primary stage, which is now covered by most of the insurance, aiming to bring an easier way for arranging appointment with doctor in care solutions when the situation doesn't necessarily to be in person. In the growth state, it is expected to expand to family doctor subscriptions on B2C and multiple business stream on B2B, as in database management, licensing, AI-driven healthcare solutions, and listing fee on marketplace specialized for healthcare-related side products such as insurance, nursing home package, supplement, and so forth. These models are expected to allow Golden Support to tap into the elderly care market of $1.7 trillion in 2025. Next, please. Regarding our short-term plan in a year, our first phase is to focus on completing mobile applications for elderly patients, family caregivers, and doctors, as well as the web applications for database management for hospitals, which empower the mobile application underneath. Together with the partnership development with hospital at the same time, which is expected to create an intrinsic demand among the elderly patients and their family caregivers in managing health track. This state is prepared for the next stage of testing minimum viable product and stabilize the applications for the next scale phase. Within this plan, we will also focus on working with the legal experts to investigate the licensing and regulation compliance to enable the solutions.
So to kickstart our project, we will leverage our available resources, including our connection with Kunming's NIH Sky City Rehabilitation Hospital for the medical expertise and also the partnership acceleration, as well as collaborations with scholars from the top US schools for AI-driven medical solutions. And at the core, our team brings the expertise in critical areas essential for the project, such as data science, startups, investment, and market research. So given that achieving a fund will enable the human resources and the software services essential for the application development phase, truly making the solution happen. So that's all about the Golden Support solution, and we are eager to contribute to the greater good through our development. Thank you.
So that's our overall plan for the solution to solve the problem that we found and investigate in this market. But to start with, we will start simple with the first to foster the key important thing is a three-way communications between the family caregivers who are taking care of the elderly patients with the doctor in care of the elderly patients. So this is expected to have to solve first about the real-time checking health conditions of the elderly patients, as well as easier making appointments and prescriptions according to the diagnosis. As you mentioned earlier, we will have some key features in development first in all the applications of the stakeholders involved in these solutions, as family caregivers, elderly patients, and doctors. So with this number, we expect to test first the minimum viable products with those key features, with aiming to completing the features and also stabilize the features for the next scale phase.
We're going to move over to our next coaching team. The team is House Hero, and the coach is Kevin Bluer. Kevin's currently a lead blockchain engineer at Consensus. He has over 15 years of experience in software development, working with companies across the industrial spectrum, including Microsoft, JP Morgan, Chase, Nest, VC, and MTV Networks. Kevin is also an experienced trainer and mentor, having delivered courses to developers around the globe. Kevin, welcome. And can I ask you to please introduce your team, House Hero?
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much, Steve. And hey, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Kevin Bluer, and it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Kenthea Roberts, Trayvon Connor, and Dylan Stallworth, a team comprised entirely of HBCU fellows, and they are Team House Hero. Firstly, guys, it's been an absolute blast working with you and being enlightened on and exploring the ways in which we can meaningfully reduce our carbon footprints, which is arguably one of the most pressing issues of our time. And to everyone else, as you're about to see, House Hero are building an innovative solution that connects homeowners, building professionals, and sustainable technology providers to help us collectively move that needle with regard to nurturing our climate, all while building a sustainable business. So with that, over to yourself, Dylan and Trayvon, to kick things off, and very best of luck.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. We see the 5-minute clock, and Team House Hero, please begin.
1.2 million. 1.2 million. The U.S. residential sector generates over 1.2 million metric tons of carbon dioxide annually, contributing significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. This is a pressing issue, but it presents an opportunity. Supported by the Inflation Reduction Act, this legislation allocates over $369 billion to combat climate change, targeting a 45% reduction in carbon emissions from 2010 levels by 2030. Yet, despite these efforts, many homeowners face significant obstacles in contributing to this mission. Rising energy costs and the complexity of navigating sustainable solutions, including deciphering over hundreds of incentives in some states and countless vendor options, this leaves homeowners searching for a solution, a hero to guide them through the maze of sustainable options. And that hero is House Hero. Next slide. House Hero is a platform that empowers homeowners to discover tailored sustainable solutions right from their smartphones or tablets. Users can access personalized recommendations, monitor their progress towards sustainability goals, and connect with a vibrant community of eco-conscious individuals. What makes House Hero unique is the blend of cutting-edge technology with practical sustainability advice, offering a unique experience that empowers users to make impactful changes to their homes. House Hero is built with a clear purpose: to serve the needs of those who are ready to embrace sustainable living. So let's take a look at some of the soldiers at the forefront. Our customer segment is homeowners, individuals who are seeking to reduce their energy costs, lower their household carbon footprint, and create more sustainable homes. Green building professionals, which consist of your architects, contractors, and developers specializing in eco-friendly, energy-efficient construction and renovations. They benefit the most from our platform because they have access to a broader market. And of course, companies that produce or distribute sustainable technologies such as solar panels, energy-efficient appliances, and your eco-friendly building materials. Together, these segments form what we call the green economy. Our mission is to invest in this green economy, fostering a better world for making sustainable living and quality of life improvements more accessible and equitable for everyone. Now, let's zoom in on our monetization strategy. We will use a freemium model so that our platform has a very low barrier to entry for price-sensitive customers, maximizing our impact on the greater good. Our revenue streams will come from subscriptions, in-app transaction fees, and custom ESG reports. Our go-to-market strategy is to partner with homeowner associations, economic development departments, real estate developers, and then, of course, your traditional marketing efforts to our target audience. Our financial projections in terms of year one, we expect 2,000 monthly subscribers at the $399 price point, which will give us an annual subscription revenue of $95,760. Our in-app project purchases, we expect 1,000 projects with an average value of $1,000, taking that 3% fee, which will give us an annual in-app purchase revenue of $30,000. In our ESG reports, year one, we expect 400 reports at the $30 price point, which will give us a $20,000 annual ESG report revenue, which combined gives us year one, $137,760 for the first year. And in the next slide, I'll go a little bit more in detail about our rollout plan. Now, let me take a step back and really introduce myself. My name is Dylan Stallworth, and I'm joined here with my colleagues and friends, Cynthia Roberts and Trayvon Connor. One thing that we have in common, among many things, is that we're all a part of Gen Z. Growing up, we were taught the importance of creating a better world for generations to come, and we strongly believe that many others share the same sentiment but find it challenging to take meaningful action. House Hero addresses this challenge head-on, and it aims to reduce residential carbon emissions, create opportunities within the gig economy, and simply promote climate justice. We plan to launch our minimum viable product in California, a state with a high demand for ESG initiatives, significant financial incentives for homeowners, and the state just have a lack of centralized solutions. This is our vision to transform the world, and is built on 3 core pillars. 1, empowering individuals and families to embrace a sustainable future. 2, transforming homes into symbols of progress. And then lastly, strengthening our local economies by connecting homeowners with sustainable contractors and green job creators. Together, these small actions create a ripple effect, driving transformative change. With that being said, judges, I want to leave you with one thing. A wise man once told me, not all heroes wear capes, but every house deserves a hero. I'll now open up the floor for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Team House Hero. And we're going to ask Judge Zanti Ho to join us again and lead the 3-minute Q&A. Please begin.
Thanks, Steve. Let's talk a little bit about what differentiates your particular AI. What data will you train your AI on to make it a subject matter expert that is really specific to the sustainability space, that is better than what homeowners could pull from a Google, Gemini, or ChatGPT using the open web? Because there are a lot of organizations that have a lot of data in this specific space, like an Angie or a Home Depot. What's going to differentiate your access to data that makes your AI more powerful?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for that wonderful question. The past 2 summers, I've interned with Ernst & Young, working with housing and urban development in Washington, D.C. And on my projects, we're constantly collecting data and already publicizing it on the housing and urban development website. And it not only contains different metrics and different initiatives that they're working on, providing incentives to homeowners that take these initiatives, but it's also aggregating them by state and by county and the local level. And so we'll be able to use this data that's already public to train our AI to provide more tailored solutions to where our people are geographically and the best solutions for them to maximize their incentive potential.
I work with some companies that are in the energy engineering space and even in home insulation. One of the things that we see is that from a homeowner perspective, this is a very project-centric approach, right? People really only think about it for their specific need, not necessarily as an ongoing basis. What is going to incentivize your consumer base to keep subscription to Home Hero rather than to use it for a month or 2 and then turn it off once they're done with the specific project they have in mind?
I think when approaching this situation, looking at home improvements and that industry as a whole, home improvements, like you mentioned, they take an extremely long time to actually roll out and to implement into your homes. And so once we have the initial transaction fee, we'll expect them to continue that subscription while the project is underway, as well as once they see the benefits that switching over to a more sustainable lifestyle and they see the ease that they're able to make these improvements, that they would then continue to use the product. Another unique selling proposition that we do have is that with a lot of alternative energy sources will come reduced bills for some of our more price-sensitive customers. For instance, if you're paying a very large power bill every month, switching over to something a bit more alternative can help lower that for you and therefore encourage you to keep on using our service.
Sure, but how does your specific service demonstrate that it's making a difference day to day?
As Dylan mentioned a little bit earlier, they would provide custom ESG reports as a part of their subscription plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Time is up. Thank you for the Q&A, Judge Zanti and Team House Hero. We're going to go to our next team and Coach Martin Bickford, who's been working with Big WH. Martin is an accomplished executive with a strong track record in customer success, marketing, and sales. He has a history of exceeding targets through operational excellence in startups and private equity-backed companies. As a leader, he excels in process improvement, team empowerment, and driving customer value. Martin, welcome, and may I ask you to please introduce your team, Big WH.
Thank you. So Big WH and ColorDex, this team is solving a big problem for a big slice of the population. We all use color to transmit and interpret information. In fact, I think every one of the teams today has used color to transmit information. But if you're colorblind, you might have missed some of that message. It's clear that the current and frankly extraneous solutions have not helped. And with all the tech that we've developed over the last 40 years, the problem of color blindness remains unsolved. So today, you're going to get to hear from Carolyn and Gary, but this whole team, including Judy, Iris, and Baron, came in prepared and sharp. They care. They've done their research. They're very collaborative, which is impressive. And they're outstanding at business scenarios and modeling. And it tells me that this is a team that can survive, can evolve, and can make a real difference in the world. So they did need a whole lot of coaching, but I'm very thrilled to have participated with them and to introduce Big WH and ColorDex.
All right, thank you, Marty. And Big WH, we're going to see the clock now, and I'm going to ask you to please begin.
Imagine being in a room full of vibrant discussions, eager to share ideas, but feeling held back because of something beyond your control. One of our teammates lives this reality every day. He sees the world differently, not by choice, but by the way his eyes perceive color. Cannot differentiate red and green makes charts and graphs on slide a daily challenge. He hesitates to raise his hand in class, not because he likes ideas, but because he fears naming the wrong colors. His insight remains unspoken, his potential undervalued, and his voice unheard. Therefore, our product, ColorDex, is a presentation editing tool designed for colorblind accessibility, enabling a one-click solution to make charts visually distinct. A system has a pop-up function that reminds and gives color correction suggestions when slide designers use hard to differentiate color for colorblind individuals. By one click, we will correct the color for you. Please keep in mind that our teammate is not the only one. There are approximately 300 million people suffering from color vision deficiency, basically 1 in every 12 men and 1 in every 200 women. My team aimed to target a niche market to address this problem.
So how is it impacting professional setting? Obviously, color-coded data are indifferentiable for CVD users. For example, the two charts below, where a normal person sees a chart on the left, you would say probably 60% green, 40% brown. But when a person with CVD sees it, it's just brown. So what our value would propose to do is our tool would detect that sensitive color and change it into a coloring scheme accessible for colorblind users, just like the pie chart below, where we change every color to blue, dark blue, and light blue. So our product vision is that in the next 5 years, the product will foster more inclusive data. More inclusive data and raise awareness for this undervalued community. So how do we plan on tapping into this niche market, right? We plan on dividing our roadmap into 2 stages. Stage 1, prototype stage. That's basically for year 2025. We want to hire business developer and software engineers to develop a prototype, secure utility patenting, and survey people to see how big is the addressable market size. With that prototype, we wanted to reach out to freeware and open source providers like LibreOffice and Sitebeam. We wanted to do a bilateral data collection agreement with them, where we basically give our prototype for free. In return, after a year, we get back their data about adoption rate, how many number of corrections are made, and user feedback. So how do we plan on financing that? We plan on using a 60-40% GPLP financing contribution with a total face value of $100,000. That means from GPs around $40,000. On top of that, we want to do a $10,000 a quarter RCL drawdown upon stage 1. And then, after stage 1, if our data come back positive, if the market is responding positive, we want to refinance our RCL, with GPLP's money, and to draw down more from unsecured RCL. So $15,000 a quarter drawdown upon stage 2. We want to use that money upon marketing, collaboration, and reaching different compliance standards like data privacy protection laws and whatnot. So, stage 2 is going to be monetizing stage. We wanted to sell a product to Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides, or consulting or banking firms. And we want to do that through 2 types. One would be subscription model. The other one would be high premium model, where you pay higher upfront and maybe a later subscription, lower subscription at the back. So yeah, but our product doesn't stop at stage 2. It's going to expand much more than that. Next slide, please.
Our product has lots of potential for adding additional features, like what Gary said. For greater good, we help the colorblind population to analyze slide content for potential color accessibility. And for greatest good, we can address visual agnosia, chrome dystrophy, or implementing AI-driven tool to expand accessibility for videos and interactive graphics. Maybe as a first step, building a family assessing tool for dyslexia.
Yeah, so in terms of investor return, we project our net income to break even in Q3 of 2027. So we're not shooting for a crazy unicorn valuation here. The IRR is around 15% in the next 5 years, for year 2025 to for year 2032. That means an MOIC of around 3 times. Just a little closing remark. I think that if successful, I hope the product highlight the need for CVD population. I'm excited to see how the product can also fit into different populations as well. On top of that, we hope to provide a long-term, a sustainable stream of cash flow for investors. And that is the end of our presentation.
Okay,
we're open for any questions.
Well, we're going to have a 3-minute Q&A session, and welcome back, Judge Tricia Bauman. Judge Tricia, you see the clock, and I'll ask you to please begin.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Carolyn and Gary, great presentation. Congratulations. You've indicated that in phase 1, you're going to be diving into your survey, and it sounds like customer discovery. What research insights do you have so far into the potential market here? So what data do you have that's indicating that there's actually a perceived problem, and that there's an express need for this type of solution? We know that there is a need, but is there a perceived need for this solution? And so what would be the size of that addressable market? What's your data on that, please?
Sure. So as I've mentioned, we have 1 in every 12 men and 1 in every 200 women as the colorblindness population, and then this number will stay the same in in the future 10 years. But however, as technology has been more and more important, it's so there are definitely more and more people will utilize a slideshow as the information display. And at the same time, according to our research, there is no patent showing that we have similar products on the market that can help address this problem. So that is basically our answer.
All right, thank you. So we know that when there is a gap in the market, there's not necessarily a market in the gap, right? As the adage goes. So wondering, what are the most used solutions, the most pervasive solutions today that are currently addressing this need?
Yeah, happy to answer that question. So I think that, right now, you're correct. There is a possibility that this market is under address, and then people are not paying that much attention to it. But so far, it doesn't seem like there's enough awareness to that area, especially in corporate presentation. Sometimes we just ignore it completely. So it's true that we are targeting a very, very niche market. And that's exactly the reason why we want to do surveys and market research in the beginning to see how big that market is. So we're opening a lot of rooms for different pivots from here. I think that this is just one population we're seeing of colorblind. Later on, we also, in our expansion plan, we wanted to explore dyslexia, tunnel vision. There's a lot of different targeted population we can address. So I guess it's a trial from here, and the monetizing stage, in stage 2.
All right, thanks, Gary. Last quick question. You've talked about leveraging upstream partnerships with, for example, Microsoft PowerPoint, and downstream partnerships. Have you spoken with them yet? And do they see a perceived need around this?
Yeah, so we have not spoken to, sorry, I think time's up.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much.
That ends our presentations and Q&A. And this time, I'm going to ask the judges to move into the breakout room to deliberate and score each team presentation. Judges, I'd like to be able to say that you'd find cinnamon Danish and an assortment of fruit and yogurt, but this is a virtual breakout room. So please come together and deliberate. While the judges are away in the virtual breakout room, we're going to turn our attention, you see up on the screen, to the audience choice poll and updates for one of last year's winning teams. So let me tell you about the audience choice poll. It's an interactive event. We now ask you in the audience to vote for your favorite team based on the presentations you have just heard. In a moment, Shauna will open up a poll listing all 10 teams, there you see it, in the order they presented. Once you see that, please select one team that you think has the best business idea. You'll have 1 minute to place your vote. We'll reveal the winner of the audience choice poll at the end, but for now, my colleague Paul Maniaci will introduce AJ Trelease from Care Home, as AJ shares a quick update on their entrepreneurial pursuit since they claimed third prize at the 2023 Greater Good Challenge competition. So, Paul, once the poll is over, I'd ask you to take over, please.
So it's my pleasure to have been helping coordinate this Greater Good Challenge this year, and thanks to everyone who has been a part of it, from the judges, the coaches, all the participants. We have the great fortune to have one of our previous winners from last year, AJ Trelease. He is going to talk about what the competition has meant to him and give some updates on his organization. AJ is also an alum from Columbia, and we are happy to have him, but I'm going to pass it over to AJ. AJ, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can you hear me? Yeah, awesome. Well, good to be here. As you mentioned, I placed in the competition last year, and I graduated with my master in science and sports management at the end of 2023. So right around the same time I applied for this program was when I graduated. And I'll talk about my business in a second, but I did want to highlight, aside from, the prize reward at the end and even participating, the validation that I got from even being able to participate in this program was, it far exceeded anything that I received from anyone else really at the time. This was not my first competition, but the first that I had placed in. And it really helped solidify not only the business idea, but my decision to really dedicate full-time efforts into this business. So I worked with Kevin Bluer, who I saw is spearheading another team here. So Kevin, good to see you, but really excited to talk about my business. I actually just got back in from New Orleans yesterday, where I won another pitch competition. So I was able to bring this business up into the next one, veering from using the motivation that I received from placing in this competition, bring it forward into other ones where I ended up winning too. So I'm really excited. I have some big updates since I last presented, but this is my business. So this is Care Home Health Solutions, LLC. We are an organization that creates risk preventative smart devices for seniors. Next slide. So this is what it looks like. This is the prototype. We are patent pending status as of last week. And I used the funding that I received from this competition in order to pay for the legal fees for that. So you can see how the reward that I received from here, along with the validation and the confidence and everything about talking about it, how I used it directly for the business. But to talk about the device itself, it automatically dispenses pills and water at custom times throughout every day, respective to the individual in need. If the cup where that medication is dispensed is not picked up or placed back in a preset time frame, a notification goes directly to the caregiver or emergency contact on file. This whole year has been dedicated to customer discovery. I've heard that be a big theme in the Q&A portion of this competition so far, and it is extremely important for really any business, in my opinion. I've dedicated the entire year to interviewing individuals in assisted living, whether it be administration or seniors, informal caregivers, different markets to really track early traction to see where the most interest was. But you can see the device itself dispenses without the press of a button. It has a lock compartment at the top. It notifies somebody when medications or water amounts are low, so they're able to go in and actually refill those and know when to do so. And it really gives hours of time back per caregiver. And I'll talk about some of the issues on the next slide. The reason why I developed this was after my grandmother. The device itself is named Graciela. My grandma's named Graciela. She lives in an assisted living facility, and she's 96 years old and has to take 20 medications every day. And I wish I had updated slides, and it shows you how quickly these businesses can go, because even since submitting these slides, I've nearly changed everything because so much has happened. But my grandmother's received scribbled instructions from a caregiver because they're already overworked. Usually these assisted living home healthcare spaces are understaffed. So you have floor staff running from room to room to room, having excessive responsibilities. They suffer from heightened feelings of anxiety, depression, not seeing their own families, and that leads to poor quality of care. Poor quality of care rises the risk of medication mismanagement, which kills 10,000 people every year. It harms millions of Americans in the United States, obviously Americans. And with there being an older population, as a fifth of the US population will be over 65 by 2030, you have more people taking medication than ever before. And caregiver turnover rates are surpassing 90% in some regions, especially where I'm currently at in Wilmington, North Carolina. The Southeast is predominantly bad with caregiver to resident ratios. And this is where I wanted to immerse myself to be within the industry and where the problem is most existent within the US. We're going to go to the next slide here. So yeah, the next step slide. Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, was this the next one? All right, yeah. So milestones, where I've been. This has changed as well. We have as you can see in December 2023, placed third in this competition. I've refined the prototype 2 or 3 times at this point. And like I mentioned, the Idea Village there at the bottom right was the accelerator I was a part of where they invited me for the pitch competition yesterday, where I ended up winning. That was huge and even more validating, but a big announcement, two big ones. Received the patent pending status just fairly recently. That's awesome. And then number 2, I am almost partnered with, got verbal confirmation for a pilot program here in Wilmington, North Carolina with a home healthcare agency. So we are starting to quote manufacturing for that early pilot to really analyze the market and see the device working hands-on with users, which goes far and above any customer discovery interview that I have. So I can get video promotions, sure, but really understand how it works and how conducive it is to the older population. Those will be able to physically see and use it. Next steps, let's see here. Yep, utility patent. I have a year to submit that if I want to keep the provisional active. I've refined the prototype. It's like I'm updating these as I'm looking at them. Early users have turned into that pilot program, so I'm going to use that for analytics, see it working within the space, and really determine the validity of the business. And a big portion of what we're focusing on now is the pricing model. I won't go too far into detail, but we're playing around with a few ideas of like a subscription versus a buy in full option. I have a number of advisors here. I'm partnered with UNCW as well, University of North Carolina, Wilmington. I've been a part of 2, 3 accelerators at this point. And just further fundraising down the road, especially as we are getting closer to commercialization, hopefully by 2026. And I think, is that the last one? Yeah, thank you. So here are a few quotes. I cannot thank everyone here for, not only running the program, but, Kevin and every other advisor really that has helped point me in the right direction to make this happen and turn it from what was a COVID hobby, essentially studying the market and playing around with the idea, into a LLC that has received funding. So it's been moving fast. I have an early team here of people that I think are smarter than me, and that's the most important part. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room at any point. So thank you everybody for having me, and this is awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, AJ. So wonderful to hear your updates and to see that things are moving along since it was like a year ago. So that's awesome how much can change.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. And so that just gives you an idea of some of the positive things that can come out of this competition. I now want to turn it over to my colleague, Deborah Lambert, the Executive Director of Media and Advertising here at Columbia SPS. And Debbie is going to talk to you for a few moments about the work that she does and the programs at SPS. Thank you, Debbie.
Thanks so much. Hi, my name is Debbie Lambert, and I am the Executive Director of Admissions and Marketing at Columbia University School of Professional Studies. I have the privilege of welcoming you to the Greater Good Challenge on behalf of the admissions and marketing teams. The Greater Good Challenge represents the best that Columbia has to offer: bright minds, innovative thinking, an eye for creating societal good, and collaborative partnerships among students, alumni, and working professionals. In its 5th year, the Greater Good Challenge fosters an imaginative semester-long process that we are seeing come to fruition today. From an admissions perspective, nothing warms my heart more than reading an application of a student who has aspirations to do well while doing good in the world. Today, as we watch the Greater Good Challenge, let's recognize that many of these participants were in your shoes just 1 year ago. Considering whether an advanced degree at Columbia University's School of Professional Studies' diverse offering of 18 master's programs was even an option. Today, we will watch with pride as they put their applied analytics skills to use or share a practical application of something learned from Professor Stephen Cohen in the Sustainability Management Program. My heart feels full watching these students address current global societal needs. Please join me in welcoming and wishing all of these talented teams well. We hope to see you as a participant for the 6th annual Greater Good Challenge next year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Steve, I'm going to hand it back to you as the judges continue to deliberate.
All right, Paul, do we know if the judges are ready?
I just messaged them and we're waiting to hear back.
All right, let's see. Can look off into the internet and try to figure this out.
So the QR code that you all see in front of you, if you're interested in participating, next year we're looking to see if you'd like to participate next year, you can scan that QR code and show your interest, and then we'll follow up with you next year, just to let you know that it's, we hope to have this happening again next year, and you'll receive information from us. So please feel free
And
to.
Paul,
Yeah, go ahead,
thank you,
Steve.
Paul. We also putting a survey in the chat, I believe.
Yeah, the survey is the same as the QR code. If someone's interested, yeah. So you have two options. You can fill out the survey, or if you have access to a mobile device, feel free to scan the QR code. They'll both take you to the same place.
Very good. I'm only saying this tongue in cheek, but any chance we can get the music back on? I kind of like it.
Yeah, can you play the music for us while we're waiting?
No, I'm just kidding. My ringtone is an old song from Steely Dan, Are You Reeling in the Years? And sometimes I just let my phone ring because I like the song.
Thanks to everyone once again for being here today. We hope to have the results in soon. It takes a lot of people to make this happen, from our judges, our coaches, obviously the participants as well, and then our audience to cheer everybody on and to see your friends and your family and your colleagues presenting. We know it's a lot of work. You saw a lot of good ideas today, and we hope that similarly to AJ, it's something that if you're really interested in bringing these ideas to fruition, that you'll keep working on them, and possibly you'll be a part of next year's challenge.
So, Paul, I know my friends at CDL are humble, but how much work on the CDL, or the School of Professional Studies Career Design Lab, how much work has gone into putting this together over the course of the last year? On a scale of 1 to 3,242.
A lot of work has gone into it, probably not as much as the business proposals, but we certainly tried to engage with our students, our alums, and with such an important initiative, we really tried to get as many people involved as possible so that we can give them a platform to launch their business proposals for social good. So we certainly enjoy doing it, and I think you could see all the progress that they've made, from submitting the proposals to being able to speak about them very succinctly. It looks like we have a judge entering the room, so I think we'll have some results soon.
Okay, very good.
Judges are coming back, so just please bear with us. Steve, if you have any jokes, feel.
Well, you can always tell a story. We had the technology issue before. So one time early in my career, I remember going in a car service in Manhattan down to a big bank when I was a scared young associate consultant. And at the time, we were using slides and a carousel. And I was sitting in the back, and I decided at the last minute, you know what, I didn't like the order of the slide. So I was going to change it. We're meeting the CEO and his executive team. At the time, a national bank, then became a worldwide bank. And the partner in the front seat was not very happy with what we now call agility, and then we just called nerves. Imagine sitting with slides, using slides for a presentation and just moving them from one sleeve to another right before the big presentation.
Steve,
one of those.
Sorry to interrupt you. The results have come in. So if you go to your
my stories. So let me turn it over to Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly, if you're here, we're going to ask you to take over the MC role, please.
Yes. All right. So I can't believe it's coming to an end, but I'm here to announce the winners. Okay, so I hope everyone cast their ballot for the audience to pick. We are going to start with audience choice for year 2024 Greater Good Challenge. I'm going to imagine drum roll. So the 2024 Greater Good Challenge audience pick team is Sante Health. Sante Health. All right. So I'm going to ask one of the members from Sante Health to come on board and make a short speech. Thank you so much, Coach Rodrigo Prado, for helping this team. So passing over to you. Morel, and I think you're joined by Victoria together in one screen. Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, this challenge has really been a pleasure. It's been bringing us together a lot more. And of course, also, like, thank you so much for the support. And I think we are beyond happy that we won the Publicum prize. Yeah.
Yeah, and we really want to thank Rodrigo since the first meeting that we had with him. He was asking us like the perfect questions and bringing like very valuable insights. And I really appreciate like our friends from Europe, South America, US, California, New York, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We are so happy to make Sante Health impact so many people's lives. Thank you.
Taking it to the next step now.
Congratulations. I'm so happy to see you both. And this is going to be such an exciting starting point for you guys. So can't be any happier. All right. So I hope that you guys are ready for the third place winner. Oh, wow. Thank you. I like that. All right. The third place winning team, surprise, surprise, surprise. It is again Sante Health. I know. I think it'd be great to hear from also Coach Rodrigo. If he's still here, maybe he can say a few words.
Yeah, hi. Well, I just want to congratulate the team. I mean, you are great. Since the first moment that I met you, I knew that you were going to, well, you're going for the long run. Sante Health really addresses the problem, a very serious problem. And me coming from an AI background, see that this is an AI company solving problems for low income population. I think that it's great. So congratulations.
Once again, thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. Rodrigo, you're going to be in touch. If you want to keep like being our mentor, you're more than welcome to the team.
Yeah, thank you so much for mentoring us throughout the entire process. I think it was so helpful connecting with you, hearing your feedback, and yeah, becoming friends along the way, I would say.
Amazing.
All right, thank you so much. And then now we're just going to move on up and announce the second place winning team. All right, the team that will take the second place for Greater Good Challenge 2024 is Blue Harmony Project. Blue Harmony Project takes the second place. And would you like to bring in your coach, Kat?
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Oh my God, Pat. We are nothing without her. Oh my God.
No,
thank you.
that's not true at all. I'm so proud. I'm so delighted. You guys have had so much energy and focus on this from the start, and I think it's well deserved, and I'm just delighted. I can't wait to see where you go with this. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much, Kat. Congratulations again, guys. All right, so I think this is the final moment of the competition. It's the first place, the first team that is going to take the grand prize for the Greater Good Challenge. Shepherd bot detection. Yes. Congratulations, team. This is such an honor. We love to hear from you.
Thank you so much.
We never expected this, and it's such an honor to such brilliant ideas. Really excited to move on from here, and hopefully within the next year, you'll see Shepherd on your browser extension, helping you to navigate the internet as well. Thank you so much.
Henry, would you like to say anything? Oh, your audio is not working for some reason.
I just want to say, like, I've been following Yannick since she had this idea a few months ago, and it's been an absolute joy. Great team to work with, and thank you guys very much.
Great. And I would like to bring in your coach.
Yes, thank you so much. And this is a great team that I observed from the get-go when I joined, and there wasn't much I could add to this real talented team. Great idea and perfect timing for what this solution is going to bring to the market. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, Shar. This is so exciting. We're thrilled for all these teams, but also all the teams that may not have won prizes. You also take away such a valuable experience and also connections that you made through this. So congratulations for all the final teams who made to this live competition today. All right, so I just wanted to finally mention that all the people who worked on this challenge, judges, coaches, and all the teams, you will be receiving special badges. These badges will be displayed proudly on LinkedIn profiles. You can showcase your skills and achievements being the final 10 teams on your profile. So please stay tuned for more details. Thank you everyone for joining today, and we look forward to seeing you as participants in the future. I think it will be great to see participants who are in the audience being part of this and forming teams and compete for next year. So with that, thank you again, and until next time, bye everyone.